Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you're ready to have your mind blown wide open, hit that like button and subscribe, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of bioelectricity.
Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, bioelectricity, I kind of remember that from high school biology. Nerves, right? But get ready, folks, because we're about to go way beyond the basics.
We are.
We're talking about the electrical symphony that's happening inside every single cell of your body.
It is a symphony. It really is. Every single cell in your body, and in every living thing for that matter, is generating and using electrical signals.
Okay, so we're talking about more than just like our brains sending signals to our muscles to move.
Yeah.
What else is this bioelectricity doing?
So much more. It's like a hidden language, a bioelectric code that's orchestrating all sorts of incredible processes. Think of it as like the internet of your body.
Oh, okay. I like that.
All the cells are constantly communicating, sending messages back and forth to control everything from growth and development to healing and regeneration.
So it's not just the nerves, like our entire body is wired up.
You got it. And for a long time, we thought this bioelectricity in the non-nervous system cells was pretty basic, like just keeping things ticking over. But now we're realizing that it's way more sophisticated than we ever imagined.
Right, give me the juicy details. What kind of sophisticated stuff are we talking about?
Well, think about regeneration. Salamanders, for example, can regrow entire limbs. You chalk off a leg and boom, it grows right back. Bones, muscles, nerves, the whole shebang.
Yeah, that's insane.
Totally. And it turns out bioelectricity is playing a starring role in this mind-blowing feat. When a salamander loses a limb, the cells at the injury site start generating these very specific electrical patterns. And these patterns are like a blueprint guiding the growth of new cells and tissues. It's like they're following an electrical map to rebuild that missing limb.
So the cells are communicating through electricity to, like, coordinate the whole regeneration process.
Precisely. And they're doing it through these tiny little channels called gap junctions. You can imagine them like microscopic tunnels that connect all the cells, letting them share electrical signals and even memories. It's like a biological mind meld where the collective knows things that no single cell does on its own.
Hold up. Memories.
Yeah.
You're saying cells have memories.
That's wild, right? No, it's not like conscious memories as we experience them, but more like these cellular imprints, like information about their past experiences that they can pass on through those electrical signals.
Okay, so it's like some kind of ancient cellular wisdom that helps these salamanders rebuild their bodies.
I like that, ancient cellular wisdom. And now let's take this whole idea of cellular intelligence to a whole other level of weird.
Oh, I'm ready.
Have you ever heard of Xenobots?
Xenobots.
Yeah.
Rings a bell. Give me a little refresher.
Okay, so picture this. Scientists take cells from frog embryos and they kind of reassemble them into these tiny blob-like creatures. No brains, no organs, no nervous system, just clumps of cells.
That's already pretty freaky.
Right. But here's the mind-blowing part. These Xenobots, even without all that traditional anatomy, they can move around, navigate their environment, and even work together to perform tasks. It's like, what?
So they're like these little biological robots powered by bioelectricity.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. We can actually program these Xenobots by manipulating their bioelectric signals. We can make them move in certain directions, pick up objects, even heal themselves. It's like we're talking to the very language of life itself.
I love that. It's like science fiction is becoming reality right before our eyes.
And it really makes you wonder, if these simple clumps of cells can do all that, what are the true limits of bioelectricity? What else is possible?
My mind is officially blown. Let's go deeper. I need to know more about this bioelectric revolution.
Well, to understand this better, we have to talk about Dr. Michael Levin. He's a pioneer in the field, and his work is seriously groundbreaking.
Okay, hit me with it.
So one of his most famous experiments involves tadpoles. You know those little swimming commas that eventually turn into frogs? Well, Dr. Levin took these tadpoles, and he surgically rearranged their organs.
What? Like how?
We're talking eyes on tails, stomachs where their hearts should be, complete anatomical chaos.
Whoa. That sounds kind of brutal.
You'd think those tadpoles would be totally messed up, right?
Yeah.
But here's the crazy part. Most of them developed into pretty normal frogs.
No way. How is that even possible? Their organs were all mixed up.
Right. That's the million-dollar question, and it all points back to this bioelectric code. Even though their anatomy was jumbled, the cells somehow still knew where to go and what to become. It's like there's this higher-level blueprint, an electrical map that overrides the physical arrangement of the organs.
So Dr. Levin is basically saying that bioelectricity is like the driving force behind development.
Yeah, he believes that bioelectric signals are like a software program that guides the hardware of our bodies, our cells and tissues, telling them how to create specific shapes and structures. And this program isn't just limited to development. It also plays a crucial role in regeneration, healing, and even cancer suppression.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture. Bioelectricity isn't just some minor player in the background. It's like the conductor of the orchestra.
I like that, the conductor of the orchestra.
It's orchestrating the whole symphony of life.
It is.
But if it's so powerful, why are we just now starting to understand its full potential?
That's a great question. It's partly because we've been so focused on the molecular and genetic aspects of biology that we kind of overlooked the importance of electrical signaling. And also, studying bioelectricity is incredibly complex. We're talking about dynamic, constantly changing patterns of electrical activity across billions of cells. It's like trying to decipher a language spoken by a billion tiny voices all talking at once.
That sounds like quite the challenge.
It is, but the potential payoff is huge. Think about it. If we learn how to read and manipulate this language of bioelectricity, we might be able to regenerate damaged tissues, reprogram cancer cells, even enhance human capabilities in ways we can only dream of right now.
Okay, now you're talking my language. Let's dive into some of those potential applications. What are we talking about here?
Well, let's start with cancer. It's a disease that affects so many lives. And current treatments, while they can be effective, they can also be incredibly harsh on the body.
Right.
Chemo, radiation. What if we could find a way to treat cancer by rewiring the bioelectric signals of the cancer cells themselves, almost like nudging them back into their proper roles?
So instead of attacking cancer cells with brute force, we can basically reprogram them with electricity.
Exactly. And there's some really exciting research happening right now that's looking at using targeted electrical stimulation to disrupt the abnormal bioelectric signals that drive tumor growth.
That's incredible. What about regeneration? We've talked about salamanders, but could humans ever do something like that?
It's a long shot, for sure, but not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Remember those gap junctions we talked about? The ones that allow cells to share signals and memories? Well, scientists are exploring ways to manipulate those gap junctions to promote tissue regeneration in humans.
So we could potentially stimulate the growth of new tissue by mimicking those electrical patterns that happen during natural regeneration.
It's complicated, but yeah, that's the general idea, and there have already been some promising results in animal studies.
This is all so exciting. It feels like we're on the cusp of this bioelectric revolution in medicine.
I agree. And we have to remember that bioelectricity isn't just about healing and regeneration. It also has the potential to enhance human capabilities in ways we've never seen before.
Oh, I love this part. This is where things get really futuristic. What kind of enhancements are we talking about?
Well, there's a technique called transcranial direct current stimulation, or TDCS, that's gaining a lot of attention.
Oh yeah, I've read about that. It's where you apply this mild electrical current to the scalp, and it's supposed to enhance cognitive function, like boost brain power.
That's it. And the research is still pretty early, but some studies have shown that TDCS can improve memory, focus, even motor skills.
So we could potentially use electricity to make ourselves smarter and more skilled. Sign me up.
Hold on now, there's a catch. While TDCS seems pretty safe when used correctly, there are still potential risks and ethical considerations we have to think about.
Right, we don't want to end up accidentally frying our brains in the pursuit of superintelligence.
Exactly.
But it's still fascinating to consider all the possibilities. What other bioelectric enhancements are out there?
Oh, there's so much more. Researchers are looking at all sorts of mind-blowing applications. Imagine using bioelectricity to enhance athletic performance, speed up wound healing, even control prosthetic limbs with your thoughts.
This is getting wild. It's like science fiction all over again. But it's also really exciting to think about all the potential benefits bioelectricity could bring. It could revolutionize medicine, enhance human capabilities, maybe even help us unlock the mysteries of consciousness.
You're right. It is exciting. And as we delve deeper into this bioelectric universe, we're bound to find even more possibilities. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take a step back and explore the human biofield.
Okay, the biofield. I've heard the term before, but I'm not exactly sure what it means. Is it like an aura? Can we actually measure it?
The biofield is essentially all of the electrical and magnetic fields generated by our bodies. And it's absolutely measurable. It's not some mystical or esoteric concept.
So it's like this invisible energetic field that surrounds and flows through our physical body.
Precisely. And this biofield isn't just some passive byproduct of our biology. It's an active and dynamic system that's interacting with the environment and can be influenced by our thoughts, emotions, and experiences.
Wait, so you're saying that our thoughts and emotions can actually change our biofield?
That's what the evidence is pointing to. Studies have shown that positive emotions, like love and gratitude, they can increase the coherence and strength of the biofield. And negative emotions, like anger and fear, can disrupt its harmony.
Wow, so our biofield is like a mirror of our inner state.
You could say that. And what's even more fascinating is that the biofield can also be influenced by external factors like sound and light.
Oh, I've heard about sound therapy. Using tuning forks and stuff to heal the body. But how does that actually work? Can you really change the biofield with sound?
It might sound strange, but there's a growing body of research suggesting that it is possible. Sound is vibration, and vibration can definitely influence the electromagnetic fields of the body.
So sound can literally reshape our biofield.
That's the idea. Think of it like this. Every cell, every organ, even our emotions, they all have specific resonant frequencies. When we're exposed to sound frequencies that match those of our body, it can create a kind of sympathetic resonance, helping to promote healing and balance.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all this ties together. Bioelectricity, the biofield, sound therapy. It's like we're uncovering this hidden language of energy and vibration that connects us to everything around us, even the universe itself.
You got it. And this is really just the beginning. As we explore the bioelectric universe, we're bound to discover even more mind-blowing connections between our inner and outer worlds. And before the break, we were just starting to get into sound and how it can influence the biofield.
Oh yeah, let's dive into that. I've heard about things like binaural beats and tuning forks,
Yeah.
and I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Okay, sure. Let's start with binaural beats. It's this fascinating phenomenon that really shows just how powerful sound can be in terms of influencing brainwave activity.
Right. So I've messed around with these a bit. You listen to these audio tracks, and they have slightly different frequencies in each ear. And that's supposed to create some kind of third frequency in your brain. Is that right?
You got it. Exactly. So those two different frequencies, they create an interference pattern that your brain perceives as this third frequency. We call it a binaural beat. And that beat, it can actually synchronize brainwave activity, kind of guiding it towards a certain state, like relaxation or focus.
Whoa, so it's like we can use sound to hack our brain waves?
Kind of, yeah. And there's actually a lot of research out there that backs this up. Studies are showing that binaural beats can help people relax, reduce anxiety, sleep better, and even improve their cognitive performance.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. So this isn't just some new age thing. There's real science behind this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it all goes back to the fact that everything is energy and vibration. Our brains, they run on electricity, right? And sound is just vibration. So it makes sense that sound could influence how our brains work, especially when you consider that different sound frequencies can resonate with different parts of the brain.
That makes a lot of sense. So what about those tuning forks I keep hearing about? How do those work into all of this?
Tuning forks, yeah. Those are another really powerful tool when it comes to working with the biofield. They're basically metal instruments that vibrate at very specific frequencies when you hit them.
Oh yeah, I remember those from science class. They make that like pure ringing sound.
Exactly. And each tuning fork has a specific frequency that corresponds to a certain note on the musical scale. And those frequencies can be used to create resonance in the body, similar to how those binaural beats work.
Okay, so how do you actually use a tuning fork for, like, healing? Do you just hold it near your body? How does that work?
There's actually different techniques, but one common approach is to gently tap the tuning fork and then hold it near specific points on the body, like acupuncture points or energy centers. And the vibrations from the tuning fork can then stimulate those points and help get the energy flowing more smoothly.
So it's kind of like acupuncture with sound.
Yeah, you could say that. And there's this whole field of study called biofield tuning that specifically uses tuning forks to try and harmonize the biofield.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. That's Eileen Day McCusick's work, right? She's the one who uses the tuning forks to detect and clear, like those energetic imprints in the biofield?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty wild.
It might sound a little out there, but McCusick's work is starting to get some recognition, even from more traditional healthcare folks. Her idea is that our emotions and experiences can leave these energetic scars in the biofield. It's like they create knots or blockages that mess with the energy flow.
And she uses the tuning forks to find and release those blockages.
Yep, that's the idea. She
Yeah.
listens to the sound of the tuning fork as it interacts with the biofield, and that helps her find the areas that are out of whack. Then she uses specific tuning forks to create resonance and try and restore harmony.
So it's like she's smoothing out the wrinkles in our energetic fabric with sound.
I like that, smoothing out the wrinkles.
Ah.
And the results can be pretty amazing. She and other practitioners report seeing improvements in everything from anxiety and depression to chronic pain and insomnia.
Wow, it's really mind-blowing to think that something as simple as sound can have such a powerful effect on the body and the mind. But it all comes back to that idea that everything is vibration, and we can use sound to influence those vibrations.
Exactly. And this isn't just new agey stuff. More and more scientists are starting to recognize the power of sound. There's even a whole field of study called cymatics, which looks at the visible effects of sound and vibration on matter.
Cymatics, yeah. I've seen those cool videos where they use sound waves to create those crazy patterns in sand or water.
Exactly. And those patterns are just a visual representation of how powerful sound can be. If it can create those effects on non-living stuff, imagine what it can do to the human body.
It's like sound is more than just something we hear. It's a fundamental force that shapes our reality.
That's a great way to put it. And who knows what we could achieve if we learn how to harness this power. We might be able to unlock some incredible potential for healing, transformation, even human evolution.
Speaking of evolution, let's shift gears for a minute. Earlier, you mentioned the electric universe theory, and I'm really curious to hear more about that. How does that fit into all this talk about bioelectricity and the biofield?
The electric universe theory, yeah. It's this really fascinating framework that challenges some of the basic assumptions of conventional cosmology. It suggests that electromagnetism, not just gravity, plays a huge role in shaping the universe.
So instead of just thinking of the universe as this giant gravitational system, we need to consider electricity and magnetism too.
Right. And that shift in perspective can change how we understand everything from the formation of galaxies to the way subatomic particles behave.
Okay, I'm with you so far. But how does this connect to us, to bioelectricity?
Well, the electric universe theory suggests that we're not just isolated beings, but actually part of this vast, interconnected web of electromagnetic energy. Our bodies are like walking batteries, constantly generating and interacting with electrical fields.
So our biofields aren't just contained within our bodies, they're constantly interacting with this larger electromagnetic environment.
Exactly. And that interconnectedness has some pretty profound implications for how we understand life, health, and even consciousness.
Hold on. Consciousness. Are you saying our consciousness is somehow connected to the electromagnetic field of the universe?
It's a pretty bold idea, but there are scientists and philosophers out there who are exploring that possibility. They suggest that consciousness could be an emergent property of the universe's electromagnetic field, and our brains might be like receivers, tuning into that field and interpreting the information it contains.
Whoa. So you're saying our individual consciousness is like a drop in this vast ocean of cosmic consciousness.
It's a mind-blowing concept, right? And it goes along with the idea that we're all interconnected, not just physically, but energetically and maybe even consciously.
Okay, that's definitely shifting my perspective. It's like we're zooming out from the cellular level all the way to the cosmic scale, and we're starting to see that everything is connected by this invisible web of energy and information.
And that's the beauty of exploring these ideas. They challenge our assumptions and help us expand our awareness of all the mysteries that surround us.
I'm definitely feeling that sense of awe and wonder right now. It's like we're peeling back the layers of reality and discovering that the universe is way more interconnected and dynamic than we ever imagined.
Exactly. And the more we explore, the more we realize how much we don't know. But that's part of the excitement, right? The universe is full of wonders just waiting to be discovered, and bioelectricity is one of the keys that can help unlock those mysteries.
I am totally hooked on this bioelectric journey. So where do we go from here?
Let's bring it back down to earth for a bit and focus on the practical applications. We've already talked about healing and regeneration. But there's another really exciting area where bioelectricity is making waves, and that's human enhancement.
Okay, now you're talking. This is where things start to get futuristic. What kind of enhancements are we talking about?
Researchers are looking into all sorts of crazy applications. Imagine using bioelectricity to enhance athletic performance, speed up how fast wounds heal, or even control prosthetic limbs just with your thoughts.
This is seriously blowing my mind. It's like science fiction is becoming reality. But it's also so inspiring to think about the potential bioelectricity has. It could change medicine. It could help us push the boundaries of what humans are capable of, maybe even help us understand consciousness itself.
Absolutely. And as we dive deeper into this world of bioelectricity, we're only going to uncover even more amazing possibilities. But before we get too lost in the future, how about we take a minute to recap what we've learned so far?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. My brain needs a little time to process all this incredible information.
Okay, perfect. Let's take a quick pause and then we'll wrap things up with some of the key takeaways and a few final thoughts that'll hopefully leave you pondering the amazing power of bioelectricity.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on this incredible journey exploring the world of bioelectricity.
We have, from tiny cells all the way up to the vastness of the universe.
So where do we even begin to wrap up this conversation? What are the biggest takeaways from all of this?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is that bioelectricity is way more than just nerve impulses. It's this fundamental language that every single cell in our body uses.
It's like we've been listening in on the secret conversations of our cells this whole time.
Exactly. And those conversations are about everything. They're about how we grow, how we heal, maybe even how we think.
Okay, hold on a second. How we think. Are we saying that bioelectricity is actually the source of consciousness?
That's a really big question. And honestly, it's one that scientists and philosophers have been grappling with for centuries. But what we do know for sure is that there's this undeniable connection between bioelectric activity and conscious experience.
You know, I was reading about this study where scientists were able to trigger specific sensory experiences in people just by stimulating certain parts of their brain with electricity.
Oh, yeah. Those studies are fascinating. Like people would report seeing flashes of light or feeling tingling sensations, all because of a little bit of electrical stimulation.
Exactly. And the fact that we can directly influence conscious experience using electricity, well, it does make you wonder if consciousness itself might just be a product of bioelectric activity.
It's definitely a mind-blowing possibility. But even if we set aside the question of consciousness, the practical implications of bioelectricity are still huge.
Absolutely. I mean, we've talked about the potential for healing, for regeneration, even for enhancing human capabilities. Where do we even go from here? What does the future hold for bioelectricity?
Honestly, I think the possibilities are pretty much endless. Just imagine a world where we can regrow limbs, cure cancer with electricity, or even connect our brains directly to computers.
It sounds like science fiction, but it feels like we're getting closer and closer to that reality all the time.
We are. And who knows what other incredible breakthroughs are waiting for us as we continue to explore this bioelectric universe.
It's like we're standing at the edge of a new frontier.
We are, and that's what makes it so exciting.
This deep dive has been an incredible journey. It's given me a whole new perspective on life, on the universe, and on my own body.
Me too. It's a reminder that there's so much more to reality than meets the eye, and that the more we explore, the more amazing things we discover.
So, to all of our listeners out there, we leave you with this final thought. If bioelectricity is the language of life, what message is your body sending you? And what will you do with this newfound understanding?
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the mysteries of the universe. Who knows what you might find?
Thanks for joining us on this electrifying adventure. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing.